Listen, when PSVR2 launched back in February of last year, there were 40 games to play on day one, meaning I did my best to play everything and review everything, which I totally failed at. This meant that quite a few launch games got very little, if any, coverage on without Parole, with City Builder Cities VR at the top of that list. So when Little Cities Bigger got announced, I knew that I should dive into Cities VR, at least for a little bit, in order to understand the differences between the two games. And within minutes, I'd accidentally cut power to my entire town and flooded it in sewage. Maybe I'll get back to it someday and understand all the finer details. But in the meantime, we have Little Cities Bigger, a relaxed, cozy take on the genre that will never leave you standing in 4 feet of shit. Little Cities Bigger puts you in God mode, hovering over an empty island, and from here you begin building your little city. The UI makes it easy to move around the map, select residential, industrial, and commercial districts, then drag and drop them on the ground to designate different districts of the city. There are rules though. Everything must be built within 2 squares of roads. These double as water lines, electric lines, everything. And your citizens have needs. You really can't build residential zones right next to industrial zones if you want your residents to be happy. They don't like the smell or the look or whatever. They also don't want to see cell towers or wind turbines. So making sure you keep them separated by a few squares of roads, parks, hot dog stands, or commercial districts is one of the first lessons you'll learn. Pretty simple so far, right? Well, there is a little bit more to it, but that's about as complex as things get. Unlike SimCity, you're not going to be adjusting taxes or worrying too much about money. I'm sure sometimes you might have to wait a few minutes for your cash to build up, but you generally have whatever you need. But over time, your city does need more than just houses, jobs, and stores. As your city expands and levels up, you'll unlock police stations, firehouses, cell towers, airports, and all sorts of stuff that your residents need. And if you watch me talk about this game on Gamescast Live, then you'll know that I got to a point where everything was built up, and I thought I was using all of my land to the best of its abilities. But the game, which up until then had been moving at a pretty fast pace, came to a screeching halt. My population stopped increasing. All my residents seemed to be happy. They had everything they needed, and I've balanced the residential, commercial, and industrial zones to the point where the game no longer had any more advice for me. The town just wasn't growing anymore, so I couldn't level it up and keep expanding. Well, I don't want to spend too much time on this because it makes me look kind of dumb, but after a while I realized what I was doing wrong, and that I wasn't optimizing my space properly. So if you do happen to experience this, listen up. Since everything needs to be built alongside a road, my brain was drawing parallel roads with 2 spaces between them. But simple math tells you that you can draw them with 4 spaces between, eliminating the need for a lot of roads and freeing up way more space for buildings. And again, this isn't SimCity. You don't have to worry about building lots of crossroads in order to keep traffic at a minimum. And once I figured this out, it was smooth sailing. My city started growing at a rapid pace again. There's plenty of smaller ways to make the city folk happy too, and that's where style points come in. These are achieved by adding attractions like mini golf courses, skate parks, outdoor seating, outdoor bathrooms, anything the citizens might enjoy. Some of these have hidden bonuses too, like if you put a playground next to a school, or if you put the donut shop next to the police station. And figuring out all these connections will definitely take some time. As you progress through the campaign, multiple new islands will unlock that you can pop back and forth between. I'm now 10 hours into the game, and I've unlocked all 8 islands, and maxed out 4 of them to capital status. And each island has its own eccentricities. One has a volcano that, yes, will explode and cause damage. Why are we even building a city here? One's made of snow, and another is desert with sandstorms. And learning how to build in these difficult places and to recover from natural disasters adds some nice variety to the mix. I do have to say though that maybe I didn't see the appeal of little cities during the first few hours of the game, and I didn't feel that much of a desire to push forward. Until I did. I guess I just wanted more of a challenge and maybe a little bit more control. You know, something in between this and Cities VR. But so much of Little Cities just runs itself, which ultimately ended up becoming the appeal. You build it, you watch it grow, and you make minor alterations along the way. If you're looking for a challenge, this isn't the game for you. But if you want to turn off your brain and enjoy a nice, casual, cozy game, this might be exactly what you're looking for. There's also a sandbox mode here where you can create your own island from scratch, and just build it however you want to. It's hard to ignore Little City's low poly quest routes. But the game does look great overall, with a smooth frame rate, a high resolution similar to Walkabout Mini Golf, and a lot happening all around you. Cars drive down the road, pedestrians roam the sidewalk, people sit outside on their lawn, kids skate at the skate park. It's nothing mind-blowing, but there's a lot of small details here to appreciate. You can only zoom in so far though, so if you want to get down the street level, unfortunately, you can't. The music consists of chill, beachy acoustic guitar, which I swear always sounds like is about to break out into a full-on rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And even the popping sound effects from interacting with the UI feel satisfying. Oh, and when a plane flies by your head, you feel the rumble in the headset. Unlike Cities VR, Little Cities Bigger takes the casual approach to city building. You never have to worry about power lines, water distribution, or even the financial state of running a city. It's the definition of a cozy game, which means it's not really designed to challenge you or stress you out. It's designed to be relaxing and let you enjoy your creation and watch it come to life in front of you. And in that sense, I think developer Purple Yonder completely succeeded in what it set out to do. Although, now that I've scratched a little bit of that SimCity itch, I might just be going back into Cities VR for a bigger challenge sooner rather than later.